Okay, we're inside, first floor, just inside the door, and you can see a couple of things right off the bat. We've centered this up in the space. That doorway opening had not previously been centered, and you can also see that the header behind it has been centered in here too. That's to the closet. It had to move over 3 or 4 inches, and this one just needed an extra stud there. It gives us an ability to trim this opening and have this line up as we're walking down the hall, which is the way I like it. This hallway hasn't changed much, except that for whatever reason we didn't have this part framed up, this little partition wall, an extension, and it's going to block the mess that could very well be in this nook where the kind of beverage station is going to be. Tea, coffee, beer, whatever. We're going to have set up right here as kind of an extension from the kitchen. And so blocking it off there blocks it off from the dining room. If you're looking this way, you're not going to see the mess on the counter there. That's one of the thoughts. It also lines this edge up with the edge of that wall. So once these doors are in and everything, that gets padded out, it'll all be centered and symmetrical and line up and on. That was something that we were trying to do. Not much has changed in here. We got one thing I think got marked out on the floor. There's, it's hard to see, but there's some marker on the floor here. This is where the range is going to be because they need this bay to vent. I think they're going up and out over my head to get the exhaust out. And so, yeah, we'll get about 4 feet on that side, and we'll have 2 full bays, 4 feet on that side. And then pantry kind of in this area, and then refrigerator right here. So that's kind of fun. We also talked today with the architects about flooring and trying to make what they're doing in the ceiling match with what's going on the floor and short-term, long-term plans. So we decided kind of that, although this is going to be our mudroom entry right here, as we walk through the door, we were planning on doing tile throughout this whole space down to that door, like a straight line, and tile the whole thing in like a slate material. And we've rethought that because long term, our mudroom's going to be out here. It's a separate little plan that we've got, and then the garage beyond. So that's really where the tile wants to be, behind in that mudroom. And then this would love to all be nice, long, straight all the way down into the family room, be that wide pine floors. So that's what we went with. The other thing that emphasizes that is you can see there's a notch cut out here. There's going to be another one somehow fastened over there. And so we're going to continue the feel of this wall, which was in an original wall location, all the way through the ceiling as if we have cut it away, which is what we were planning to do on the original plan when we were trying to keep the house. So that also defines what's going on in the ceiling for light fixtures, and so like it has some other impacts. And to have that kind of header match what's going on the floor makes it all kind of make a little bit more sense as well. We are doing the same thing here. You can see that there's going to be, I think it's just a 1x10 or 2 next to each other. 1x10's going to run there as well, and it's going to serve the same purpose. It gives us a couple of defined light locations. I think one is going to drop right in the center of this space, and then one right here over the openings, and it's going to continue kind of like a runway strip through the hallway for lighting, and it defines kind of the new space back here from what was the old space back here. So that's the vibe. So those headers need to go in still down here. These windows got reframed. The headers got flipped around the correct way. The ceiling we still have not really addressed. It feels like it's probably just going to stay exactly where it is, and I can live with that. It's a cozy room. It doesn't have to be 9 feet tall. We're resetting our expectation a little bit there. I think it's going to be great, and I'm not terribly concerned about it. So, but they moved both of these windows yet again and made sure that they were right per the plans, and it definitely widened this space out in the middle. It feels better to me. Get the mantle in there, get the television in there. And we got a stack of brick here, starting to bring it in from outside and pick out the good stuff, or the best. At least we got one good side of this brick that's going against this blue wall. So we'll be doing that hopefully real soon. Second floor, there's really nothing going on. Third floor, there is some stuff going on. So let me run up there real quick. And the only thing of note up here that has been developing is figuring out where some mechanical chases can be, and those aren't really finalized yet, so I'll spare y'all. And up to the third floor, where we talked about a good number of tweaks. So I know that I had mentioned that although the ceiling height in here is amazing, it doesn't really fit the vibe of the house. It wasn't really what we were going for. And so it's less than awesome. And I really don't like the beam sticking down like that, because I can't do anything with the original beam that we want to rehang in here and make it feel good. So what we had talked about was trying to just run it from the bottom here, bottom of the beam, at an angle, kind of a wedge shape, to terminate more or less where it is now. And so that flattens out the slope a little bit, closer to what it originally was. Gives us a flat bottom on that beam to attach the original beam up and under here. Do the same thing on the back side. From the bottom of the beam down to nothing, right there. And we run that all the way across. And if this corner of these doorway openings is too close, then maybe we have to tweak these over closer to that other stud. But we're hoping that it's not going to be an issue. We'll kind of wait and see. Same thing on that side. We're going to do the same thing. So this section here was always going to get that treatment. You kind of extend this because it was just a little awkward. And so that's what got us thinking about, like, well, if we're doing that anyway, why don't we just actually make it right? And so that's what we're going to try to do. That's the objective. Now, the treatment's going to be a little different in here because we got more height on all sides to deal with. And so instead of like tapering it down to this arbitrary point to the knee wall, we're just going to drop it straight down. So it'll be, this beam's about 18 inches tall. We're going to drop it straight down 18 inches and run it parallel to this, and it'll come down there a little 18 inches lower. So it'll land right about there when we're done there. Which is still a ton of space. It's not, we will miss nothing about that, so I'm not worried. And then the same thing here. We had some conversation that we could actually make it completely flat. There is enough room to make this a flat roof or a flat ceiling, but that would feel weird to me. So we're just going to keep this shed slope. I think it's a 412, so we'll keep that. There, it still is going to land 18 inches from the top, so it's still higher than 8 feet. It'll be 8.5 to where it starts to slope, or more or less. So it'll land about there. And again, just keeping that same sloping pitch. So the whole thing drops 18 inches, which will still put it at the peak over 10 feet. So it's tons of volume. We don't need it. It's not doing anything for us, and it's the wrong vibe for this space. We had envisioned this being a cozy space. That'll help get it to be cozy, and it'll give us an opportunity to plan out where these beams are going to go, which beams are going where, and what it all ultimately will look like. It'll, we'll be able to block behind where we're going to attach these beams, and it's the right way to do it. Yeah, so still got to frame out an extra closet over here, but we're close. Close on the framing front, very, very close. We still can't put the window buck in here, as you can see, because we don't have any blue skin over here. So when we get that, we'll be good to go. And a top view of our family room roof that still needs some rubber to make it actually watertight. We're waiting on that because the brick masons don't actually want the rubber on there because they don't want to damage it. So we're trying to figure out what we can do to compromise there, to get something that's going to be weather tight, or more weather tight at least, while at the same time not setting the masons up to destroy the thing. We'll keep tuned on that, but for now, we'll keep chipping away. All right, take care.